I'm starting to feel old because it's hard to believe the original Shin Megami Tensei 3 dropped about 15 to 18 years ago.
Okay, boomer.
Yeah, okay, I'm feeling even older now, thanks man. But now Atlas seems to be taking remasters and ports a lot more seriously now. What with the added success of Persona 4 Golden over on PC, they've now brought us Shin Megami Tensei 3 HD Remaster, Nocturne. That's right, it's coming back and it's dropping this 25th of May. Although if you got the Digital Deluxe Edition, lucky you get to play it early on May 21st. It will be releasing on the PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and Microsoft Windows. And big thanks to 5-Star Games for shedding us an early copy for us to check out.
Immediately, what we notice from the intro movies and the cutscenes that this is in fact 100% a remaster in every sense of the word. All cutscenes from the original release are still in their original 4:3 aspect ratio, and they haven't been re-rendered or remodeled or anything like that. They're just simply upscaled for the modern day, which I think is awesome. They look sharp, they look crisp, and quite frankly, I mean, at first I thought, oh wow, they must have just done them again. But when I looked a little bit closer, I realized that they are still the exact same cutscenes from the original game. They just look way crisper on a 4K TV. Now, even the main menu screen has been taken from the original and boosted up to, fit on a 16:9 display, or widescreen as we used to call it. The text is a little bit sharper, the brightness is a little bit brighter, standard stuff that you expect to see in a remaster. It's a small little touch, but it's really nice to see that they've kept it as original as possible.
Now the HD remaster of SMT3 brings a number of changes. First off, the merciful difficulty. Now, back then, this game was considered quite difficult for its time when it didn't really hold your hand. There was no real tutorials or no real guides available, so the added addition of a merciful difficulty lets people who just want to enjoy the story. It's very, very, very forgiving. I'm not kidding, it's very forgiving. You'll see in the gameplay soon. To a point where you can just pretty much kick back, relax, level up nice and quick, and enjoy the game. Now you're probably wondering, how did some of the OGs play this game, right? Without all that information or tutorials, how did they figure things out? The manual on that game was thick, and internet forums and all that, and playthroughs and tutorials weren't really a thing back in 2004, 2005. So that was about the only way you could learn to play the game. Another quality of life fix, thanks to the difficulty, is the added addition to be able to change the difficulty on the fly within the system menu. You just go to config, you can go all the way down to the bottom, and right there, the ability to change it from merciful to normal to hard. Like, if you're playing on merciful thinking, oh, I'm terrified of it, and you're finding it just a little too easy, you can ramp up that difficulty and go, all right, give me more of a challenge. Or maybe you've gotten overconfident and you've tried it on the hardest difficulty possible, and now you're thinking, my ass is getting whooped. I need to turn this down. Now, important to note, the merciful difficulty setting is actually offered as a free DLC. So the minute you go pick up your physical copy at the store, or you've downloaded your digital copy onto your console, immediately head to your respective store and download that merciful difficulty if you're really, really needing it. And I mean, just grab it. It's free. You can't argue with free, right?
Now, another cool feature about this game is that you have the choice of not one, but 2 awesome DLC characters. The first one is one of the greatest memes of the mid-2000s, Dante from the Devil May Cry series. And we've also got Radau, the Devil Summoner himself. Now, it's worth noting that Dante from the Devil May Cry series is in fact paid DLC. Now, if you did buy the digital deluxe edition, you would have got it included with the game, but if you got the standard, you will have to go onto your respective storefront and buy him as DLC. Now, if you didn't go out and buy Dante from the Devil May Cry series as the DLC, Radau will appear by default as the default DLC character in the game. So he's free by default. He's already in there, so one way or another, you're still getting one of them, which is pretty sweet. But if you do want to swap between the two of them, just make sure you have the Maniacs DLC pack enabled and in the main menu, and you'll be able to swap between them and have Dante from the Devil May Cry series in your game.
For the first time ever, the game features dual audio options for English and Japanese built straight into the game. So that is a big plus from me being a big JRPG fan, especially with the Japanese dub. They did well with some of their stars on that one. Like, for example, one of the characters, Hikawa, is voiced by Daisuke Ono. If you know your Japanese voice actors, that's the voice actor for Erwin Smith from Attack on Titan. There are also subtitle options for the following languages: French, German, Italian, and Spanish. Much of the text has been improved from the original as well. There is a lot less bloom on text, making it much easier to read. There's a lot less bloom just in general across the board with the images, so visibility has been greatly improved. Fonts have been changed to a different style and color as well to improve legibility. Frankly, the HD remaster itself also has pretty much lost this yellow tint that was very visible on the original, so it was nice to see that gone. But for some who remember the original, this might change the overall tone of the game with how bright it is. Maybe they preferred the darker setting considering its much darker tones, so that one's gonna be up to you and your personal preference.
Now, another thing which stood out to me was how lush the game looks. Now, it's not like, you know, Ghost of Tsushima lush, but it just looks clean in the sense that it's been upscaled perfectly to the modern generation. You know, the models are crisp, textures are crisp, everything about it just looks clean on a 4K TV. Like, while the game does run at 1080p, it just, like, I don't know how to put it. If you look at the gameplay here, it just looks really sharp and crisp. Everything is a lot more legible now. You can read things, like, wasn't too blurry like it was in the original. All the demons and the characters look nice. It's just quite frankly, a really faithful remaster. And I feel like the word remaster gets thrown around a lot often these days, but this, I feel, really does bring the definition home to what a remaster actually is. It's an upscale from the original just to work on modern consoles. That's what a remaster is. And they've done a damn good job of it. Now, it's worth noting that the PC version of this game only runs at 30 FPS, hard locked at 30, which, look, frankly, I strongly disagree with, and I feel like if you're running on PC, the frame rate needs to be uncapped entirely. You know, that's another argument for another video. You know, let us know in the comments below what you think about that, if you're gonna be playing on PC. And if you have a good TV, we tested this on our 4K OLED HDR TV on a PS5 as well, and it looked sensational. Gorgeous colors. While it doesn't have HDR built in, like, the TV did a damn good job of just making everything look so vibrant. Because the original, while it did look kind of bland, it also, I don't know, it just had a really interesting color palette. It was dark, but not too dark. It wasn't too dismal, but wasn't too vibrant at the same time. I really don't know where to put it. It just looked nice.
Nice. Nice. Nice. Nice.
Nice.
If you're new to the SMT3 series, like I was, and you've played Persona or any of the Personas really, you're gonna feel almost at home, with a few changes. Familiar features such as negotiations, where you convince these demons to join your team, still exist within this game. It's, you know, a little different from the Persona series. And rather than you summoning the demons like a Persona, you pretty much summon them into your party and then they're just available alongside you and they fight alongside you all the time. You can have up to 3 demons active in your party, then yourself, total team of 4, but it looks like you could expand your demon count by a little bit, but you've got to proceed through the game to be able to unlock that. What we found was pretty cool was that when you go to negotiate with these demons, they barter with you by, you know, taking some of your health, or they want money from you or certain items. And demons on your team actually get abilities to help negotiate with those demons a little easier to bring them over for a lot less cost.
Now, what about the music? Does it slap? Does it bang? Does it go hard just like the original? The answer is yes. In fact, it does. All the music is still there from the original game, completely remastered and made a lot clearer for the modern generation. Also, you have the option of downloading extra DLC by enabling the battle game music functionality in the options, which will actually put different SMT game music over the game. So if you want to mix and match a little bit, you can do that too.
Of course, it wouldn't be a Shin Megami Tensei game without demon fusing. Very similar to how fusion works within the Persona series, once you reach a certain point in the game, in this case the Cathedral of Shadows, you will unlock the ability to do demon fusion, and when you fuse these demons together, your brand new demon will actually inherit skills from the originals.
Now, what about the battling? The typical turn-based battle system from most SMT games is back once again. And you'll actually notice it plays very similar to some of the newer Persona games. There are actually some features in this battle system which the Persona games actually took inspiration from. You might be familiar with the one more system, right, where you get a crit and then you get to go again. Well, that in fact is in this game. You know, when you land a crit on the demon that you're facing, you get to have another turn. And you can actually stack those crits up and deal a whopping amount of damage. Now, one of the key features about this game are the Magatamas. So, what the hell's a Magatama? Never heard of that before. What does it mean? What does it do? Why should I care? The reason why you should care is that gives you buffs and skills and all these cool different effects during your gameplay to help you reach the end, beat bosses, defeat enemies, and just smack through it and feeling like a beast, especially if you're playing on hard mode. The Magatamas you usually get them when you beat a boss, or you can purchase them using the in-game currency from various vendors. And like I said, they'll give you a skill, or they might buff a certain stat for you. And you know, when you're going through fighting different bosses and going to different areas, you know, it's good to sort of mix and match them a little bit, so you make sure you're getting the most damage possible out from your enemies when facing them on.
Overall, this game is an extremely faithful remaster of the original. The graphics, the music, gameplay have all been brought forward to the current generation for both old and new fans alike to be able to enjoy. Atlus have done a fantastic job with this remaster, pretty much keeping everything near original with the texturing and upgrading the textures and redoing textures where necessary. Very little was actually changed by the looks of it, other than a few quality of life things. Honestly, it actually feels like I'm playing the original most of the time, just in HD. Still in 30 FPS though for this type of game, that's perfectly fine. If you missed out on the original back in the day, or if you found it a bit too difficult then, and you know, you don't have a PS3 to go buy the original, you don't have a PS2 to play the original right now, this is 100% a great way to get back into the game, also get trophy support, and all the other nice little brand new features. Oh, forgot to mention, suspended save states. Pretty much suspend your game right there, where you are on the spot, end it, and then come back to it later. Isn't that cool? With the added merciful mode, it just makes it way easier for newcomers who are just really nervous about these types of difficult games where, you know, it comes at them quite, you know, strong. It allows them to dip their toes in, get used to the system, and then if they're feeling confident, they can ramp up the difficulty and really take on a challenge. Or maybe they just want to kick back and really enjoy the narrative that Shin Megami Tensei 3 has to offer. And by the way, they get to enjoy all of this with absolutely stunning voice acting. Like, both the English and the Japanese are just brilliant. Like, there's no reason to fight over which is better. They're both good. With so many big next-gen titles coming out in 2021 and some to be announced when they will be released eventually, this is definitely a game released for the last generation that you do not want to miss. And we've been playing it on our PlayStation 5s and it just plays beautifully. And with the ability for it to be added to the Nintendo Switch, it means that if you've got to go to work, but you don't want to stop your SMT3, that's perfectly fine. Just pick up your Switch, get on the train, bus, however you're traveling to work, and keep playing your Shin Megami Tensei. You can take the experience with you. For many, this game might fly completely under the radar, but if you're seeing this video and you're thinking, should I really get SMT3? Am I gonna like it? If you're into demonology and all this other stuff, you're gonna love this. Even if you're just a fan of RPGs or JRPGs in general, I implore you to really give this game a go. It is 100% worth it, very faithful, and if you liked Persona, I'm pretty sure, and actually I'll say very confident, that you're gonna enjoy Shin Megami Tensei 3 HD.
So there you have it, Shin Megami Tensei 3 HD Remaster, a very faithful remaster of the original Nocturne, or Lucifer's Call, that came back way earlier at the turn of the century. But everybody, if you loved the video, definitely leave a comment down below. Are you picking up Shin Megami Tensei 3 the HD Remaster? If so, let us know down below. Did you play the original back in the day? Will you be gunning straight for the relentless hard mode? Or will you be checking out the merciful difficulty, which, look, let's be honest, a little bit easy. Or better yet, are you going to be playing on PC, Switch, PS4? We want to know it all. Let us know down below. Leave a like on the video and don't forget to subscribe as well, because we also do live streams every Friday, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So if you love retro games, we're also doing a Pokemon Fire Red Nuzlocke as well, where people in the chat get to have Pokemon named after them. It's pretty sick. It's really awesome. There's lots of shenanigans. It gets wild. It gets crazy. You don't want to miss it, so get subscribed so you don't miss out on that. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, we'll see you in the next one.